Back with a mega micro DC review pile. The intention is maybe there's something you're on the fence about. This may give you a little bit of info to, get you over that fence. Maybe you don't even want to mess with it. This could help you out too. So kind of save you some money and hopefully you have some fun. You know what I'm saying? Let me know if there's something you want me to check out. I will get on it. So Dead Man, number 1. Neil Adams. This did not resonate with your boy at all. I don't know. I got to where I didn't even want to read it. I was starting to skip and really just power my way through it. So that's when I knew it was doesn't resonate. So you know what that means. I will not finish the series. I don't know if there's something about Dead Man. If you're a Dead Man fan, let me know, man. I always want to get into that character. It's a very interesting character with a lot of potential. There's been some great stories. There's I know Kelly Jones when he was doing the artwork with Batman. Oh man, he draws a great Dead Man. So there's some positivity. It's just this story right here just wasn't happening for me. But glad it's in the collection and I'll keep it. Or give it to my nephew. Yeah, I'll give him some of those. He can check it out. Maybe he likes it. But yeah, we have Vampires, World War V. I really like this series. This issue was more of, they're getting to a point. Yeah, and I made a rule on the alternate covers. I got one that highlighted a character. It was just something I started out with when the series first came out, but it's cool, man. I get to cover A anyways. Good Elseworld book. This one delves more into the what's Darkseid gonna do? And you have really three factions. You have the humans, the vampires, and Darkseid, which makes it very interesting to me. Makes the read more of, who's going to backstab who, because there's a lot of that going on. And you do get some Damian Wayne going off the rails. So you have a huge death in here. You have, more of the Spectre involvement. But it's a great ride. It's getting to the point where the 3 factions are the vampires and the humans need to work together to defeat Darkseid. But how will that work? And you already have what Damian Wayne does is really puts a wedge into it. And since this is a review, I will give you a spoiler. And I am not sure if this really happened, but this is a dramatic issue. It's a must-have on this series. So what happens is Damian kills the vampire, Barbara kills her. And they're actually, the humans and the vampires are actually, they're good to go. And she is given the speech. Let's rally up the horses. Let's beat this dude. And Damian just kills her. So what happens is you get to a point where decisions need to be made. To keep that alliance alive, they need to assassinate Damian. Not assassinate, but they need to offer him up. And so the new queen, I believe, God, who is the new queen? I want to say, it's not important, but there's a new queen and she's like, you got to do this if you want us to team up. And that's the only way to beat Darkseid. And this is a very powerful, emotional moment for this book where he has to kill Damian. And he does it. That's pretty powerful. When I read that, it really took the series in another direction for me, where I couldn't believe what I was seeing, that type of moment. So it's a good read. Get on it. Totally recommend it. Batman and Robin, 24. Totally love this arc. You don't know if that dude is a hallucination because this whole series has this grave poppers. It's called grave poppers seed, where it makes you hallucinate like hardcore. And there's been numerous instances where you don't know if this is a hallucination or if it's real. So what we've really found out was Etrigan has been involved, and it's a demon, and it presents itself as a demon, and that's where I'm at. It's a legitimate demon, and it is playing with everybody. And what it does here, it's pretty terrible. But Batman's willpower is too strong. It recreates the death of his parents. And then the way he cricks his head like that, that's crazy. So, if you're into detective, mystical dramas, this is a great story for you to get into. And it is a revealing of the demon and what it's all about. But I still felt like maybe, like they get into it, like the demon is rendered, the artwork, it is fantastic. This demon is pretty horrific. Like the white pale face always would get me when I was reading this series. Read it at night and you'll see what I mean. If you have an imagination like mine, it's pretty spooky. So yeah, it's like really grisly. But they prevail. It's a really great story arc. So yeah, now you get this little, like a mask. Actually seeing that right there makes you wonder, is it really that or is it this drug? They did a fantastic job at burying that, like not burying it, but threading that through the story to where you're always off guard, like you always don't know. Fantastic. They even talk about it at the end. But Batman, he's like, it doesn't matter. Metaphysical fear type toxin, that type of, it doesn't matter. Batman will fight anything. And throughout, this was goofy. I didn't like this. Throughout his career, he has been in the metaphysical. So it's always good to see when he's off kilter with when there's ghost metaphysical stuff. Because it really jacks with the detective work. But yeah, I didn't care for this part where it's all crayon, where Damien is like drawing his comic book about him and his dad. That, man, I could have done without that, but still, definite Batman recommendation. If you're hardcore Batman, you're probably reading it. For Batman and Robin, I will tell you this is better than the Batman Robin Year One. That thing fell so flat with me. It was sad. But if you're into that, bring me back if you can. Like, I'm always like, someone's opinion can sway me. And there may be a viewpoint that I'm missing. That's the beautiful thing about comics and sharing, is you can get inspired by people's words. But totally dig that. Green Lantern Corps. I had bought this. I did a mega mini key hunt at the local comic shop. Bought this one, the introduction of a new Green Lantern. Artwork is there. It's great artwork, but it just didn't hook me. You'll hear me use that word hook, and the hook was not there. And the Green Lantern Corps, it could really bring like a lot of bang for your buck, but it wasn't there. If you're hardcore Green Lantern, you're definitely going to get this. The one shining beacon of light I will give you is, I love it when Sinestro flexes, and he flexes in this, so that's a positive. Oh, if you're into Sinestro, there's a lot of evil bad guys that I like. He's one of them. I like Sinestro when he's with the good guys and he's pulling that flex. if that makes sense. And he does in this. So I'm glad I have it in the collection. I will not be continuing the series, but it is a #1 and it did introduce a new lantern. So I'm glad it's in the collection. You know, those little mega mini key hunts, they're kind of fun. I'll probably do more of those just because. You know, these are things like I would normally, even without the channel, I would buy stuff like this. I do that stuff all the time. Make up little rules when I'm hunting. It's all good. You know, it's a good way to get introduced to new things. And I'm always looking for new things. You know, I have my own personal taste. But like, if someone like Christian from Austria, he's getting me hooked on some stuff. It's great artwork. Batman Detective Comics. I actually bought this. Dick Sprang did 3 covers, and the covers actually tie into the story. It's pretty brilliant. The story is dark, up my alley. I believe, though, you have to be a hardcore dark comic fan to get into this. I am looking forward to reading the other 2 issues. This is the first and 2 of this arc. The gist of the story is there is murders happening in Gotham, believe it or not. But these are gruesome, and they're leaving notes behind which point to a comic book that is being written. So there's still a lot of mystery there. But this demon, it's the metaphysical. This is hardcore metaphysical, where this demon, I don't know if it's the Bat Demon. It sure does look like it, but it wants to repent. And part of that repentance is being in the real world. So you have this character who takes it up to be the host for that demon. So that's where this is at. There's multiple artists on this. McCone is one, and look at this. I will bestow this artwork on you, where the musculature, the anatomy, the figure drawing, it's on point with McCone. I mean, look at that. That's great figure drawing, like right there too, as well. So yeah, I'm totally enjoying this. And there it is again. I mean, it's great figure drawing. Just drawing Batman with muscles like that. Like, yeah, that's what he should look like. Yeah, and here you have the Bat Demon in his host. And I don't know who this guy is, but man, he waxing. So it's a nice little read. Kind of going back into the Detective Comics. So this was, what's cool about that, this was a series with Dick Sprang doing the covers, and I was looking at these covers, and I was like, is that Kelly Jones? I was like, there's no way, like, you know, because of the ears, you know, kind of gave it away. But I talked to Dan, and he gave me a history lesson, and I learned something, and I got into something new. So that's how it works. Totally dig it. Absolute Green Lantern. Where's this going? It's still good, but the horror element has rubbed off or lost its shine. The Hector Hammond introduction is good. That's keeping me enthralled. It's keeping me hooked. He's pretty evil. So that's the gist of this issue. You're getting more development of Hector Hammond and Hal Jordan. There's more development there. We're getting more revelation of Abin Sur, where it's more than what we thought. There is a creation of Green Lanterns that he is producing, and the Black Hand element I think is awesome. And this issue, he takes out Abin Sur, and it seems like the Black Hand progression is progressing in a very dark manner. So it's cool. I mean, he literally like labels him the Black Hand. So we'll see where that goes. There's more development here. We will see. It's a slow burn. Not bad though. There's a lot of development going on with the characters. And if you are into Green Lantern, this is a must, I believe. The whole Green Lantern mythos is very fresh, just like all the other Absolute titles. This one I totally dig. And I like Black Hand for some reason. So it has its hooks in me with that. You know, if anything, you know, the Black Hand from, you know, the regular comics was a very dark character. So we'll see how this darkness carries over, because it is dark even in this. So we'll just keep pushing along. Recommend it. Oh man, #1 book, Dark Patterns. I will do probably a mega review on this. A micro review just cannot do it justice, but this is part 3 and it wraps it up very tidy. The team of Watters and Sherman are just on point as usual. I just want this series to keep going. I'm not sure where they're going to stop. I knew it was, I don't want to say 9, dude. I thought it was going longer than that. Maybe 12. But the paneling work, the artistry, the symbolism, it's all here, folks. And I will give you an example with this mini micro review of what I'm talking about. So you have this old man where he's telling his story, and as he's telling his story and just perishing, it's like an umbilical cord, this oxygen machine, like this thing that's supposed to give him life is like, it's like he's dying in the womb or regressing. Like, it's beautiful, man. It is just the whole umbilical cord symbolism. It's pretty fantastic. And the writing, like, you can't read the whole book to someone. Just doesn't do it justice. But if you're into very deep writing that is very symbolic and creates a tone that pretty much it fakes you out. You'll think one thing and then the next issue, you're on a totally different trip. So Dark Patterns, man, if you ain't reading that, I mean, you got to get it. You got to try it out. You could even, if you haven't got on it, you can get into any of the story arcs. You can jump in like that. You can just read one story arc where they're all standalone. So that would be a great way to introduce yourself to some magnificent comic book creation. So get that.